Welcome to the Scale Builders Guild. And to my disappearing trucks behind me there. Welcome to the show. It's What's on the Bench, episode 80. This is a live episode, so you can interact with me in real time. And I thought it would be sort of appropriate to kind of play with the steam truck. Here it is right here. This is... for those of you who don't know, this is called the Loco Hauk, and it was built by Kenny Hauk out of Pennsylvania, I believe. This is in real life, in one-to-one world. This was a 6x6 JK powered by a steam engine. Yeah, this is my, looking at it up, I can see it over here as well as right in front of me. But this is a full recreation of that truck. Everything's pretty much accurate, excuse me, including the fact that this is also powered by steam. If you're new to the channel, this is maybe the first or second time you've seen it. It's a pretty wacky build. I'm not gonna lie. This was something that I had sort of said, you know what? When I saw it, I have to build it. I have to. So I did that, and it functions. It works. The only thing that is powered by a battery are the servos, because I wanted to make it as sort of like autonomous as possible. I didn't want to have to be fiddling with it a bunch because nothing is accessible outside of the body. It's like a scale truck. Yeah, it's yeah, it's one of those things that probably should have never been done, but I did it because, you know, once I got in, I was like, well, I've got to keep going now. I can't stop. It started life as an SCX-10 original. And I bet it would work a lot better on a more modern chassis. But there would be some limitations there, of course, because axle pass-throughs, those are hard to find these days for the SCX-10-2 style axle. They made them for a while. I don't know if they still do. I don't think they do. But some of the other things about this chassis actually worked really well for this. And of course, the SCX-10-2 had been out for ages by the time I got around to making this. So going backwards was actually easier. But let me go over some of the details of the body first. And I'm already losing my voice. I don't know why. Let's see if there's already some questions in here. Did someone get a haircut? Yes, I did. Thanks, Gears, for noticing. Do you have to use distilled water? Yes, you do. If you don't, it'll ruin the boiler because this is a functioning steam engine on the inside, just albeit smaller. There are chemical and mineral deposits in normal tap water that can calcify and completely ruin the inside of a steam engine. So you do not want to do that. There you go. Are we rolling coal tonight? Yes. Yes, we are. Any videos of it running? Of course. Yeah, there's a bunch on the channel, and you can find them on the channel. Please go watch them. And in fact, we'll get it running tonight because that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. I'm so happy that you're crazy enough to have built this. Thank you, Thomas. This was back in my more daring days. You know what? They'll come back. The half track was first. Half track was first, and then I did this. All right. Definitely one of the coolest and most unique builds around. Thank you very much. Doesn't all VP internals fit 10-2 axles? Yes, they do, but There's no pass-through axle that, like, Vanquish doesn't make a pass-through. Is he blurry for everyone else, or is that your feed? That's going to be you, I think. My internet is strong. How piercing and shrill is the whistle? Yes, it is. Can we see with the body off? Of course. Yeah, I'm going to get through all of this. I know I'm always behind comments, but I'm catching up. There we go. Hope there's a pressure release valve or something. Yes, it's not, and it only generates like 35 pounds of like pounds per square inch, 35 psi. It's like a bike tire. It's not that much, but there is a blow off valve, so not to worry. RC Underdog, thank you very much. Hey Matt, sorry if this derails your show topic, but what shoes do you trail with or recommend for climbing around the rocks? If you can get Ultras, I liked Ultras a lot. I guess Hoka is probably a good brand. I don't wear Hokas, but I think they're pretty good. But I also really like, there's a Nike trail shoe that I really, really like. And I can't remember the name of it right now, of course. But yeah, a good trail shoe with reasonable support, but lots of flexibility in the toe box so you can spread your toes out. That's what I like. All right. Okay, now let's get into some of the details of the body. So, started out as a New Bright JK, as you can see from like here, here to about the back door. That's all original. Not much changed there. But this whole back portion here, and I'll try to turn it so you can see parts of it better. But the whole roof structure past the driver's door, that's all new. It's all scratch-built styrene. The grill, as you can see, that is a 3D print. James Knight designed that for me to match the original Loco Hauk. So you can see all the pipe details and rivets and stuff. So that's new. Front bumper, I can't remember who made that. It wasn't me. I think I found that somewhere, and it actually looks fairly appropriate. It's actually very close to this one. Maybe James made that for me too. I can't remember. And then the rest of this, the whole like sort of boiler section at the back, this is all scratch-built styrene as well. And there's some details in there, like this whole section can be removed, like from the back here. How easy is that? Yeah, see all of these spin out of the way, and then this whole panel can come off. I was like, I just need to have a different way of accessing it in case. Never really needed to take it off though. So this is all, this whole back portion is styrene. This was 3D printed and designed by myself. The boiler is plastic. Well, yes, because this is a faux boiler. The actual truck, it functions in the same way. It's got a faux boiler on the back of it to make it look bigger than it needed to be. The style of steam engine that they used, most of the actual mechanicals fit under the hood. There was a boiler in the back, but it's much smaller, and theirs ran on kerosene, if I recall correctly. This one, obviously, I'll show you in a second once we get there, but it's powered by propane butane mix, and I'll share all of that with you. All the rivets that you see, those were all hand set. I used an actual rivet gun and set all of these myself. But otherwise, it's all just styrene. Oh, these actual pipes, these are actual real steam quality, like model steam quality piping and assembly bits. Those are all real. It's all metal, brass, I think. Yeah, underneath the chassis, I guess we might as well take the body off. We can start sharing some of those things with you. Yeah, I'll show you the inside. Actually, I'll show you the inside of the body first. Well, you'll see the chassis under here, but there's, yeah. now it gets interesting back there. But on the inside of the body, because it is styrene, I've put a bunch of not asbestos, but fireproof tape and foam-backed, fire-resistant sort of insulation on the inside there, mostly to keep heat in. It hasn't melted anything, which is great. But you can see that it does a great job of insulating and keeping the styrene free of any sort of melting. It's always more interesting when the top comes off. Yes, it is. It's all magnet mounts that holds everything in place. This thing doesn't go very fast, so there's no real danger of me losing anything. It does have a full interior as well. I used some assorted watch-making parts to make that sort of fit into the timeline. Back when Scale Builders Guild wasn't Scale Assemblers Guild. Oh. I'm still doing some assembly. Some assembly is required. This is definitely one of those days. So, extended SCX10 chassis. I brazed it myself. Added the links and everything for the 6x6 style setup here. We've got Vanquish F9s. These are the big old SCX10 style one. And then there is a plastic pass-through axle here. And these were really easy to make back in the day with the SCX10 because you just needed two of the same half. You just flipped one of them and you would have link mounts on both sides. It was like the perfect combination to make a pass-through center axle, if you will. And then, yeah, all my own links, all of my own mounts, brazed the chassis together to make it obviously a longer chassis to have all the space for this very cool steam engine from Regner. Regner is a German company. These are all handmade in Germany, so to a very high level of precision. And this model was originally intended to be used on a boat. So not a ton of real life torque or speed, but it works. It does function, and that's the most important thing. Mechanically, how this all works, this tube or this cylinder here, plastic and steam usually don't play well together. Well, this obviously is the exception. Everything works here. I wish I was as cool as Matt. I wish I was as cool as this Matt as well. Steampunk made literally. Yeah, it is fairly steampunk-ish, isn't it? Okay, so this cylinder here is your gas cylinder. This is where all of your fuel goes. And we're going to go through all the steps of firing it up because that's what I wanted to do tonight. But I have to repair or rebind the receiver, reset all the endpoints on all the servos. So it's going to be a bit of a process, but I wanted to take you through the whole build so you kind of got an idea of how this whole thing works. Yeah, that was the technology at the time. Those pumpkins would win a state fair award. Those things are huge. Yes, they are. Okay, so like I said, fuel container here. You put your fuel in at the top, and if I press down on this, gas comes out. So propane butane mix goes into this. It's under pressure, of course, and from there, that fuel goes through a little regulator here and then into the actual boiler assembly. Your water goes in this part here and fills up to about halfway or so. And there is a nice big burner underneath the boiler. And then your exhaust is right here. Heat is created because I hope I have a lighter in here. I didn't think about that. May have to run out and get one. There is also, it's sort of hiding behind the canister there, but this is your water level meter, and that should be sort of somewhere in the middle there. This is your blow-off valve. So if you get above, say, I think it's like 3 bar, 2.5 bar, and that's measured by this nice handy little, let me turn the spot focus off there. This little guy here shows you your pressure output, and I've never seen it get above 3, but maybe it will tonight. Who knows? Anyway, once that steam is created, it's forced out this pipe here into this assembly, and this is your piston assembly. See if we can get that to focus a bit more. Yeah, there we go. And this is a really interesting piston assembly because you can actually force the steam in 2 different directions. So you can actually turn this whole piston assembly either forward or backward, which is pretty neat. And it's all functional through a servo. So you can actually turn this way, and then truck goes forward. Reverse back to neutral, truck stops. All the way back this way, truck goes in reverse. And that's the basic function of it. There is a flywheel here that is connected to a long drive shaft, which I'm going to have to turn the truck around so you can see the rest of this. Long drive shaft to a GCM front motor mount or front transmission mount. And your motor would typically go here where this pinion is. And then there's a spur here, all connecting to a axial transmission, which the back output here is going to a GCM transfer case, and then that's powering all 6 wheels. Yeah, and then on this side, as you can see, there is another outlet for steam in this wrapped pipe here, so I don't burn myself every time I touch the truck, to a actual functioning whistle. So it does go toot toot. Now, in terms of electrics, what we're using here are 1, 2, 3 servos. That's all you need. 1 servo for steering. Wait, am I wrong? No. Yeah, that's right. 1 steering servo, 1 servo for locomotion. No pun intended, either forward or backward. And then 1 servo here for actual steam application. And it's basically on a, can't see it. There it is there. This one moves up and down, and that opens the steam valve, basically. And that's it. That's all there is to it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through the process of binding and setting all those servos and answering your questions. I love this. Pretty complex setup, but should work. Yeah, it should definitely work. I built this like a decade ago. It definitely 100% works. I use it all the time. Well, no, I don't use it all the time, but I use it a fair bit. I'm just going to create a new model here and start from scratch. I've just got this paired with my Spectrum DX6C. There it is. It's always been a pretty flawless experience too. But like I said, it's not fast, but nor was it really designed to be. It's just sort of designed to work. And that it does. I actually shipped this all the way down to Axial Fest in 2018. Yeah, and drove it around there. That's where most of the running footage of this truck was filmed, other than my backyard. Okay, so oh yeah, there is a BEC to power all the servos. That's because there's no ESC, of course. What would an ESC do on this? Nothing. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the servo horns off of all of these servos because I would hate to burn out a servo while I'm trying to set all of these. That would be bad, because that would require a lot more effort to take everything off. And I don't want to have to go through that. Steam doesn't scale. Is there some question of something that I missed? So trail fixes are easy peasy, right? Yeah, definitely. What does it weigh? It's a thick boy. It's probably around 15 pounds, give or take. It's not actually all that heavy. You add more weight when you add water. Um, Tiny flywheel, Matt, but sizes and everything. No, exactly. And the reduction is pretty heavy duty. Like I've made it so it just kind of goes. Properly chuffed, yes. 3-bar steam is over 290 Fahrenheit. Dude built, I'm not going to say that word, on wheels. Yeah, it's not, you'd be surprised at how not dangerous it is. When you have a blow-off valve and everything's functioning pretty well, it's pretty hard to, and now I'm jinxing myself, of course, but it's pretty hard to do anything very seriously wrong here. Okay, let's fire up the BC. Excellent. And we're going to have to add some auxiliaries. No steering. Oh, yeah, right. Let's bind up this radio first. Bound. I'm going to have to reverse that steering. There are model steam boiler pressure test rules in Canada. Not that I know of. Runtime on a full tank is probably around 15 to 20 minutes, give or take. Yeah. It takes a while to get up to pressure, of course. And it's all dependent on how much butane propane mix you have in there, but it does work pretty well. It would be dope to make this into a steam-powered half-track. Well, I already have a half-track. I don't need to do that again. Okay, let's reverse our steering. There we go. Excellent. Steering works. Great. Now, let's set up some auxiliaries here. That looks like that's actually good. Yep. Perfect. It almost looks like you haven't had this truck for a long time and had it running. It's been probably, gosh, pre the last 4 years. Yeah, it doesn't get run very often because let's go with F and we'll make it a 3 position and make it cyclical. No. Okay, I think that's going to work fine. What's Canada's equivalent? Oh my God, you guys are so funny. But this is not in any way a dangerous thing. You can buy these steam engines and put them in a boat any day of the week. That looks good. Probably change the trims, travel set up there. Perfect. Okay. It was actually pretty easy. Okay. So now we can move on to the next step in the process of getting this thing ready to run. And that is burning the house down. No. A can of hairspray is more dangerous. Thank you, Thomas. I agree. some of the few remaining working used tactic servos in this one. Yes, these are obviously I didn't need a lot of power. Yeah, that's a good example there. One of the things you need to do when you're playing with steam is Lubrication. You need a lot of lubricating grease, oil, and stuff. Make sure everything's in functioning tip-top shape. So we're going to add a little bit of this. We actually got two different kinds. This is straight from Willesco, the damp machine oil. And all you do is you basically add a drop to part of the assembly here, and that's just to keep things moving. It's not all that much required, but you do need to do this on a fairly regular basis. And unfortunately, because of the way these steam engines work, there is a lot of oil added into the water on the output. I forgot to mention that there is steam. I actually routed the steam ports instead of coming out the side where it used to go. It used to come out the side over here. It now comes out of underneath the front tires here on either side. And that was how the Loco Hauk functions. So I wanted to make it do the same thing. That's what's missing, the oil feeder on the steam line between the boiler and the engine. No, it isn't. Actually, Ian, it's got that. Forgot to mention that as well. But that's what this assembly is right here. And I don't think I need to add any more oil in there. It's probably got plenty. Last time I checked anyway. Maybe I'll add a little bit more. I may have to force that open. It's been a little while since I've opened that. Yeah, there we go. See what that looks like in there. You won't be able to see, but I will. Oh yeah, plenty. Yeah, we are in good shape there too. All right. Now that everything's been lubed, everything's properly lubricated. How many hours invested? More than I'd care to count. But I did build it on sort of a schedule. I needed to get it done for Axial Fest in 2018. I think I started this in 2017 or so. Yeah, it took about a year and change. Lots of noodling to make it all work. All right, let's add some propane butane mix. Now I'm using, what am I using here? This is just Primus. It's a brand name power gas propane isobutane mix. And you just kind of, there's no other way to do this really. Sort of like line it up with that thing there. And very carefully add gas. Sort of like that. Fairly bummed you're not wearing anything old-timey to match a steam engine. Yeah, I considered getting a hat for today, but I didn't have enough time. Making sure we're at capacity. That's going to do it. I will put on my safety goggles once we get to the steam portion of this experiment. Okay, now we can, you should always, of course, you should do this in a well-ventilated room because you do not want to pass out. Now, we do need some distilled water. I do have this handy welder's gloves. Yeah, they're outside actually, but I do have this handy little pump that you add water in, and it's got a nice gauge on it, so you know how much water you're supposed to put in. If I recall correctly, this is about a 300 milliliter tank, and we've got about 500 milliliters in there. So let's see. A 5-panel conductor hat. I'm starting to see the level come up on the indicator. What's the horsepower? Not much. I'd say it's less than half of one. Probably about maybe a fifth. Okay, that's about 200 milliliters. I think we're going to stop there. 250-ish. Perfect. Okay. Odd Slayer, thank you very much. Love and Cash from Alaska. Geek on. Thanks. And thank you. Alaska, that's a state that I would really like to go to someday. And I'm going to make it happen. How long does it run on a full tank? It'll go probably 20, 30 minutes on a full tank. If you put dye in the water, can you get colored steam? Not something I would recommend. Not at all. 5 RPM, yeah, that sounds probably about right. It's not super fast at all. 8 from Utah. Steam is definitely good in a large tug. Yeah, definitely. That would be a cool place to put some steam. Okay, now we've got water. We've got fuel. We need an ignition source. Man, I hope I have a lighter in here. I feel like I should. But I don't think I do for some reason. It's so strange. Well, crud. That means I have to go upstairs briefly. All right. Stand by. I shall return. Okay, I don't have to go far. Got one. All right. Lose the comments there. Okay. It's been a little while since I've done this. I think we have to open up the gas valve, which is this one here. And see if we can get a good angle on this for you. Let me stand up for a second here. Oh, almost. There we go. Nice sort of a nice kind of rumble going on there. So while that's warming, make sure our steam valve is closed, which it is. Yes. And that's just going to make steam. It's going to boil the water, basically. And we can watch that valve go up as the pressure increases. Move the mic. But I move the truck. How's that? Better? It does. It sounds like a percolating coffee pot. Exactly. Turn down the noise cancel. I can try. I'll try moving the mic. How's that? Better or worse? Now we're watching water boil. Do you have some paint that's drying for later? Yeah, I sure do. That's better. Okay, good. Great. All right, so now we just wait for hopefully not long. Throw on my safety goggles, which I forgot to do. Oops. Boiling water ASMR. Yes, 300 mil or so boiler, runtime 20 to 30 minutes, give or take. So now we wait. you thought it was a crawler, it's actually an espresso machine. Yeah, I'll start a timer. That's a good idea. Sort of stopwatch. ASMR with Matt and his tiny truck. They'd be able to drive in about 20 minutes. Usually about 10 to 15 minutes, give or take. He looks smart. I don't know why. You're not supposed to drink distilled water? Oh yeah, that's right. There's something about distilled water that's not good for you in terms of drinking, right? It's like the minerals or something. No, not a homemade boiler. This is from Regner. They're a steam engine maker out of Germany. Just realized I should open that valve. Otherwise, we wait. I brought gloves, but they're neon green. Tomley would love this. Would he? I think he probably would. Yeah, probably would. I'm confused as to when the tracks come out. Yeah. Looks like we're getting some pressure. Getting a little bit of pressure build up there. The needle is moving. It's moving, guys. Oh yeah, it extracts the minerals. That's right. That's right. Do we have one in 1/24 scale? No. 1 in 1/9 scale was plenty work for me. Does the moonshine come out? Where does the lettuce go? You mean the jazz cabbage? Jet oil on there would work much faster. Yeah, probably. Mike, no, I don't have any other further videos on it, but I thoroughly enjoyed running it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I can't say many bad things about it other than it does traction roll a little bit, and it definitely could use a better tire. Other than that, loved it. Make mine an Earl Grey, please. Wait. Well, now that there's stuff in there, yeah, it's still probably like a 10-pound truck, give or take. Starbucks probably, yeah. Yeah, we're getting some pressure. Under pressure. Where are your Gen Con steampunk goggles and entire leather outfit? What we're going to need, I realized, is this. We'll need one of these here in a bit. I'm also going to need some paper towel because it's going to get greasy. You want to hear the steam whistle? Yeah, me too. That's one of the best parts of this. Oh, thanks, Dave. One of your greatest builds, I must say. I appreciate that. It's definitely pretty fun. It's different, that's for sure. I'm going to crack my beverage, because I am quite parched. I hear things happening. Fire extinguisher, yes, right over there. Only you can set fire to water. Only who can prevent forest fires? You selected you, referring to me, which is incorrect. All right, we got 1 bar, which is not enough. We're going to need more than that. Boy, howdy. Almost chugga time. Now, this part right here, this controls the valve to release the steam into the piston assembly up at the front. With it closed, all I'm doing is building pressure in the boiler. And once we get to blow-off capacity, which should be coming in a little bit here, I'll turn it and you can see more of what's happening. Yes, Mike, that's exactly the right place for it. Coal-powered Fordyce fixed. Yes, exactly. Steam Ripper? Yes, David, I tried to do that as well, but I didn't get around to it. It would have required a little more effort than I had time for. Oh, we're building some pressure now. Temperatures. Oh, well, I have this handy temperature gauge here. It's 274 on the boiler. And I'm hearing the pressure valve starting to go. Yep, we're getting there. This is so much fun. Okay, I am going to turn it a little bit here because I want you to be able to see when this pops. It's already starting to get there. See if I move the camera up a little bit. I can hear it. There it goes. Okay. Let's release the steam. Yay! It still works! Hooray! Yeah! Success! You got steamy water everywhere. Now you can probably, just out of frame there, you can see the steam coming out the sides here. Let's yeah! Oh, baby. We're cooking with steam now. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to get it up on some blocks because things are getting a little out of control here. Now you can get a better look at the steam that comes out. And I'm going to put my other glove on here so we can get the whistle going. There's going to be a lot of water in the system. I forgot how amazing this thing is. But yeah, that's how it works. All right, I just got to find the dead band there. Give me a second. Adjust my trims. And that was about 8 minutes. Okay, there's neutral. Perfect. And just wanted to kind of show you a better... There. Now you can see the whistle a bit better. Zoom out a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, so there you go. That's the steam truck. I'm so chuffed. It still works so well. And it pumps out a lot of steam too. Like if this were outside right now, man, oh man. Needs a bigger tube to it? Oh my gosh. But it makes a nice amount of steam. This is working a lot better than I think it ever has. Can you control speed? Yes. You can. It's totally variable. And you can go in reverse too. And let me flip it around again. I'm definitely making a mess here. That is hot. But you can watch the pistons move quite well here. Yeah, that whistle is mega loud too. I'm not sure it's. Yeah, tires are a little flat. You'll have to bear with me on that one, but it's getting nice and steamy in here. I think we're going to turn off. Yeah, I know. As for speed, there is not lots. But nice slow crawl if you want it. And it does look pretty good with the body on too. Let's put that on for a second. You can see the steam on this camera in my face. As for power, like pulling power, not much. There you go. That's the steam build. Now, in terms of expense, because somebody was asking that question, it's so steamy in here now. Blow off some of that steam. Hope I blew all your eardrums with that. But yeah, that's the build. Very, very fun build. Oh, good question. Which is more expensive, the Class 1 Porsche or this? Well, the steam engine alone is around $1,500. So this it needs a. I'm sorry, that was a mistake. I pressed the wrong button. What was the question again? Oh, here it is. It needs a Stewart D10 engine with a 500 mil boiler. That will give it some power. Am I back? I'm still here, right? Yeah. No, power. It was just I pressed the wrong button. Did I trade cameras with Josh? No. So yeah, temp on that is still around 245 at this point. There are lots of parts I wouldn't touch because of steam. But yeah, that's the steam truck for you. I hope you found that as enjoyable as I did. I absolutely love it. So you spent less on the Porsche. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Dog seems to be okay with the whistle for whatever reason. What would you update on this build? That's a good question, David. I'd probably put better servos in place, though it didn't seem to really need them at this point. Is Steam hot? Yeah, it is. It's pretty toasty. Yeah, don't touch any of this part with your bare hands. That's for sure. Always wear a glove when operating the whistle because scalding hot boiling water will come out of it first. It's extremely messy, as evidenced by underneath the truck. There's a lot of greasy water here. Where's my paper towel at? But that's the price you pay for steam. A pretty cool truck, and it keeps everything nice and humidified in here. Yeah, steam. Isn't that? It's not something you see every day. I got my inspiration actually from another guy. Oh man, Crab Foo was his. This is how I iron my shirts. Crab Foo did the same sort of thing with a similar steam engine on a Tamiya Night Hauler, of all things. Yeah, good for your skin. If I wanted to run it again, what's the turnaround time? I have to assume you let it cool off before refueling. Yeah, I probably wouldn't put a compressed gas near so much heat right now. That would probably be bad. But I'd say, once this gets down to more like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it's probably more than fine to reload and start all over. But yeah, there's not much turnaround time in terms of like the mechanics of it. It's designed to run at those temps, so not a big deal there, really. Crab Foo, not crab food. Still have a couple of those motor plates that's in between the shock towers. Yeah, the GCM front motor mount, very popular unit on SCX 10s back in the day when you wanted to have a scale interior. That was like the only way to do it. But there you go. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed that little demonstration. I love this truck so much, and I'm so glad that it still functions very well, I might add. I'm pretty impressed. Oh, cool. I work on a stern wheel steamboat. It's only 200 horsepower, but the boat weighs a few hundred tons. That is so cool. Have you seen the full-size build? Yes. That's where I got the inspiration from. I haven't seen it in person, and I never will see it in person, unfortunately, because it's now been disassembled and the steam engine was returned to the person who donated it to the build, which is kind of a bummer. Actually, you know what? I'll remove the battery here first and then put that back. Yeah, that's the whole deal right there. I'm glad that I was able to do a deep dive and that it worked. I mean, I wasn't really concerned that it wasn't going to work because, let's be honest, this is sort of a set it and forget it sort of thing. I'm just glad that it worked as well as it did. That was super fun. And I loved sharing it with you, and I'm so glad that you all got to watch, because that was pretty fun, man. That was pretty fun indeed. Updated running video. Yeah, absolutely. We should definitely do that. And I'll do it in the cool months. Yeah, Jay, we got snow. We got like a good 4 inches of snow today. So we won't be doing that anytime soon. But once it is, not snowy out, I'll take it out and we'll do an updated running video for sure. Yeah, that was really super fun. If you've got any questions or suggestions or ideas for other future weird builds, by all means, send them to me. DM me on Instagram. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. And yeah, it would be cool to see on the snow. But yeah, I don't know. Running it in the snow, I think would just be messy. Yeah. Servo the whistle. Yeah, that would be something I would like to do. It's tough though, because of the way, it's still kind of warm. The way in which it works, I would need to I'd have to put the servo up here, and with the body having to come on and off. I mean, I guess I could figure it out. I guess this truck could have probably also been on That's a Weird RC, my new show, which if you haven't checked out, you should. I've got that. I got another episode of that coming soon. But yeah, that's a steam powered 6x6 axial SCX10. Probably the weirdest thing I've ever done. Temperature change might affect performance. Yeah, it actually didn't work I didn't find it worked as well in the summer months. Cable for the whistle. Thomas, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. This was before the TRX4 was a thing, so I hadn't really thought about shifting things for it. Steamers suck in the cold. Boiler has to work extra hard. Yes. With a boiler this small, though, and such a good heat source, sometime in the spring, let's say March, we'll probably do a running video. Yeah. Any questions about any other builds that I've been working on? Because we don't have to just focus on the Loco Hauk, although I'm glad we did, because that was super fun. I love this thing so much. It's one of those weird trucks that, it's got limited use or limited usage options, but the appeal is strong because it is such a fun, weird truck. Cuck V. I can show you that. I have one of those. Just clean up a little bit here. It also does come with a larger chimney stack, but I don't need that for this, because that's if you're running a boat and you want it to look cool. Yeah, Cuck V. Nothing has happened. Nothing at all. This is going to be awkward. This giant steam truck is in the way. It's still camouflage. Hopefully you can see it. What are you trading to Richard for that pink monster truck he's got? I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. Anyway, yes, Cuck V, nothing has changed. I do have to finish this still. It's dusty. I haven't done anything in a long time. What do I have to do? Finish the interior, which is a minor inconvenience right now. It's all there. It just needs to be painted and detailed. And then once that's done, gosh, I guess that's it. I just need to finish the interior. What's taking you so long? And I have to wire up all the lights and glue the tires onto the wheels. And there's a bunch of stuff I got to do still. I'll get that done next year, I promise. No, I'll get it done before then. Hopefully. No promises. What light bar did you use on the CJ7? That is the Night Customs one for the... he's got it in a few kits. This was from the Bushido kit, but it works. Can you run brass inserts with carbon fiber wheels? I have no idea. I don't do that. I don't have carbon fiber wheels. Lit dashboard, Jay. Yes, I've used a lit dashboard. I did that on a Class 2 build from a bunch of years ago. It was the Land Cruiser 80 series. I used fiber optic cable. Actually used fiber optics to light up all of the individual like buttons and stuff. Yeah. They might be, Jeremy. I can't remember. I have to go back into my files and look and see. Just put a sticker on it and call it done. Ripper has a dash screen as well. That's, if I'm not mistaken, that's fiber optics as well. I didn't do that one though. That was done by Scale Built out of the UK. I'm not really into hot rods. I'm more a truck guy, so I don't see myself doing one of those, unfortunately. Yeah, I found a fiber optic cable kit on eBay. Had everything you needed. I think it was powered off like a watch battery, and it actually worked really, really well. My only complaint was the kit, the actual fiber optic cable was not very flexible. It was actually quite rigid. So try to find one that has very flexible cable and you'll be fine. What chassis are you going to use the F-150 body on? What F-150 body? The one that I'm not doing anymore? I threw that in the garbage. Oh, one thing I changed on the CJ, I changed to a firmer spring setup on these Proline big bores. So now it sits at a pretty reasonable height and has down travel still too, which is exactly what I wanted. Ugh. And both of my rotator cuffs are broken. Did you or Josh ever find a good 3D scanner? We have a good 3D scanner. Mine's from Revo Point. Where is it? Is that it? Yeah, here it is. Sorry, I got a lot of stuff over here. A lot of cables. This one, Revo Point. Inspire. That's the one I'm using. And it works really well. I've got a video on that as well. And yeah, it's fantastico. Works really well. You know what else works really well? iPhone 15 Pro. If you have one of those, you can get a piece of software or an app, and it works spectacularly well. It scans in color, scans 3D, works exactly as necessary, and will give you an OBJ output so you can bring it in as a mesh into Fusion 360. So I would try that as well. Can you do another Gladiator build or something with the SCX-10 Gladiator, please? I don't think so. Watch that series again. Yeah, once I've done something once, I tend to not do it again. It's just sort of how I roll. Hence why I haven't done 2 steam trucks or 2 half tracks. Kevin Ensley, thanks very much. Now sell the steam truck to Turks and Jerps so Richard can do a review and mod video, RC 4-wheel drive TF3 style. Didn't he end up throwing that in a dumpster? I don't think we'll be doing that. Anything with the Element Ecto? No, I have not ever owned an Ecto. I don't think. What have I got? I had the Zool. Oh, excellent. That's good to know. Thank you, Jeremy. Don't you worry too much that too much tech will take away from creativity? Never. Not at all. I think, technology is one of those things that, for me, aids in a build. I like, for example, the Radio Master MT12 radio opens up so many more possibilities for programming and building, kind of like almost like an actual script or program for your RC, so we can do so many more other things. Like you could program light sequences, or you could do somebody made up a whole program for the VFD, so you can actually see what's shifting and when. It's actually really cool. Did you really toss the Blackfoot body? No. Somebody was asking, I think, about, I did an XLT Ranger body for another project that I ended up tossing because I didn't like it because of the size of it. I still have the Blackfoot body. Yeah, no, that's going on the Enduro 12 at some point in the future. I don't know when. I got to get on that. Favorite leaf spring rig? Did you sell that? I don't know. Currently, the Cuckvy, probably. I think that's probably my favorite. Did you sell your Night Runner? No, I still have my Night Runner, but it's in pieces right now. I need to rebuild that one at some point as well. You done missed half the show tonight, Brandon. Go back and start from the beginning. This one's a banger. Call me weird, but that steam truck seems like it would look really cool with dual leaf springs in the back. Yeah, it might. I don't want to convert it to leaf springs though. CR12 versus Enduro 12, are they the same? There's minor variances on the Enduro 12. I think it looks better. I think the axle pumpkins are different too, and it's got more metal in it as well. I'd like to see the steam truck with a happy grill. Anything you wanted to pick up that you haven't? No, currently not, Matthew. I'm trying to not. I'm on a spending freeze. I'm trying to thin the collection. Actually, I've got too many things again. So watch for some sales. I'll probably be doing that soon. Does the Snap-on car look like it could have real leaf springs? No, they really built those torsion shocks to be the actual functioning part. The leaf spring is totally cosmetic. It does nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. Oh, snowmobile. Yeah, I think we have enough snow to run that now. So yeah, I think I've got a couple parts to print, and then we'll take that one out for a little rip too. All right, guys. I think that's probably a good place to end for tonight. This was so rewarding for me, and so rewarding, I hope, for you. This truck, for me, is one of my favorite things I've ever done. I still, honestly, I can't believe it's actually mine and that I did this. So I hope you got a kick out of it. And I really appreciate everybody hanging out and doing a live stream, What's on the Bench. This is always really fun. My thanks to the following: RC Underdog, Anch Slayer, Jared Erickson, Kenneth Robinson, and Kevin Ensley. Thank you very much, gents. Really appreciate it. Wait, you mean it's over? Buck Dandy, I think you missed it. You should definitely go back and watch it again. This was a blast. So much fun. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And we'll see you again on Wednesday for live stream takeover with Josh, which will have 100% less steam unless we get angry at each other. Thanks, everybody. Love you. Bye.